Need a reminder of the good in the world? How about ways that you can make a difference, all while following your passions? Then you've come to the right place. Here on Be the Good with Kate, I have the honor of speaking with people from across the globe and such a wide array of backgrounds, all with the common bond of following what lights them up while making the world a better place along the way. My name is Kate Cherichello Tente, and I am so grateful you are here. If something in this episode resonates with you, please reach out. I absolutely love hearing from you. And if you're willing to spread the word, sharing these good news moments with others, a share on social, comment, review, or a text to a friend about Be the Good with Kate, all goes such a long way. Thank you. I've learned so much from all the guests on Be the Good with Kate over the years, and I hope you leave here with some nuggets that stay with you too. Here's to making the world a better place in any way, shape, or form. Welcome back to Be the Good with Kate. Today, I'm delighted to share with you Brian Dean, who is the president and CEO of Jersey Cares. Now, on the podcast, we've talked to a lot of people in leadership, people in the nonprofit space, and something I really am excited about today is Jersey Cares is kind of this umbrella. It's like a nonprofit's nonprofit, so to speak, but it's an organization that creates and manages volunteer projects to serve a spectrum of nonprofit organizations. Brian joined the organization in 2006 as its only employee, overseeing a budget of $100,000. He has overseen the organization's growth to a $3 million budget and engagement of close to 30,000 volunteers annually. I'll let Brian fill us in on the rest, especially how he ended up in the nonprofit sector to begin with. But first, Brian, thanks so much for being here today.
Thanks. I'm great to be here. It's great to be here. I love the way you said that. It's the nonprofit's nonprofit. That really does encapsulate what Jersey Cares does.
Oh, thank you. Well, I just think it's such a neat organization. And I think a lot of times, in talking to so many people about the idea of giving back, people sometimes get stuck on, well, how do I? There's so many ways. I don't know where to begin. So tell us a little bit more about what Jersey Cares does on the day-to-day to connect with volunteers and nonprofits.
Sure. I really appreciate that you use the word giving back because we have a lot of conversations about that phrase. And we're like, is giving back really what people are doing? Because in a sense, it sounds almost obligational. It sounds transactional. Because I got something, so I'll give it to you. Rather than we're all in it together and we're all just being altruistic and supporting each other in the ways that we can. And we'd love to think about it in that way of bringing people together with new connections and forming a community. So
That's a great way to frame it.
yeah, that systemically is what Jersey Cares does. We bring people together. And when you bring people together, they learn about each other. They learn about what's going on in their communities. They think about their participation and how they fit into it and what their own motivations really drive them toward. And it brings us to a new level of working together. When we have a society where people are thinking like, well, how can I get something else? Or what can I do for myself? And I just need to get more and more and more. And they're not thinking about being a part of the larger whole. It is a very separate way of thinking. And so you have a group of people thinking about how they can get more for themselves. And then you have a group of people thinking about how they can make sure everybody has what they need. And so when you reach people and you make them realize the power they have to make their lives better, to make other people's lives better, to make the community better, it's a really inspirational, systemic change within people. And we like to say we light the spark in people because we make it easy for people to find those ways to work. They volunteer, they go out, they learn more about themselves in the process of learning about their communities and other people. And they realize the power they have to make the world a better place. And it can be really transformational for people on an individual level.
So is that what it is? Because the idea of how do people get to the point of going from the obligation of it feels like something I need to do or should do, or I know you work with corporations, sometimes it's a required thing to do a volunteer project, getting them from that category, if you will, to that idea of I feel fulfilled by this and I feel so good about giving back or using the phrase, whichever phrase it should be there. Is the bridge just getting them in the room of the project? Is there like what gets that spark, I guess is what I'm trying to ask.
Everybody's in a different place, right? And we always say like we have to meet people where they are. Everybody's coming to it from different backgrounds with different perceptions, different perspectives. And we need to talk to them from that place. So if someone is in that place of, I'm going to this because my boss said I had to, or I'm feeling kind of guilty and I should probably just go volunteer and do this one time and get it over with, um, that's okay. Like that's where they are in their journey. So we like to reach out to people in all those places and give them the opportunity for that growth. So the person who's starting out from, I don't really understand why I'm doing this, but I'm just going to do it because I have to, is their journey is going to be different from that point, and their experience of a project is going to be different from that point than the person who's been volunteering all their lives and they're ready to take over and like run the volunteer project now and make a commitment to being there every Saturday. And we just let that happen, right? Like we provide the platform and the opportunity for that growth, and we let them have it. And it's not in a preachy way, it's not in a judgmental way. We want people to come wherever they're coming from, wherever whatever perspective they're bringing to it. Just do it and see what you get out of it. And maybe you won't come back. Maybe you think this isn't right for you, and you move on. But we find that a lot of people are really inspired and find a sense of their own potential to make a difference.
It's something I love about an organization like Jersey Cares is that someone might feel like, oh, if I try to reach out to a singular nonprofit and it doesn't work, then I'm back to square one. Whereas with Jersey Cares, you have connections with so many nonprofits that I'm sure if someone does come into that where I don't feel like this one's right for me, but I want to keep trying, do you then have direct support with volunteers in trying to match them, or do they go, like, how does that next
Mhm.
step happen?
Yeah, it's the very tactical process of getting people to that inspiration point.
Yes.
Um, so we work with hundreds of nonprofits, and we help them, and municipalities and governmental bodies like parks, and we help them think about how they can use volunteers. And then we recruit and manage volunteers to do whatever that is. And that it's the recruitment, and the management of the volunteers. So that organization doesn't necessarily have to take on the responsibility of managing the volunteers or running that volunteer project, because we'll train a volunteer who goes to do that all the time. And so um, it, if you're a volunteer or an interested volunteer, you can go to our website, and we have hundreds of volunteer projects listed that are available to the public every month. There's no fee. You don't have to do anything. You just look through everything that's available, and you're only making a commitment to go that one time. So everybody's got a busy schedule. You want to try to figure out how to do something good, but you don't really think you can. You Here's 3 hours on a Saturday. You can go and do this, and then you don't have to go back if you don't want to. But it's a great opportunity for people to look at this menu of projects and figure out exactly what speaks to them. Because we work with animal shelters, we work with senior homes, we work with schools, we work with literacy programs. You have a it's like going to a buffet. You can pick whatever looks good to you and try it. And then you don't have to go back if that one didn't work, or you can try an animal project one week and then you can go help someone with their homework the next week. It's kind of up to you. Um, but it's very unintimidating for people, and it's a
Yeah.
welcoming way for people to feel like they can fit it into their lives, and it can still be meaningful because we make the commitment to the nonprofit organization that we're going to be there every Saturday.
Mhm.
Volunteers might change, but we're going to keep sending you people who are interested in helping you, so they have some stability and they know that they can run this program with the volunteers. So it works for everybody. It works for the volunteers and it works for the nonprofits that we partner with.
Oh, that's so great. And a question that just popped into my mind because this is a New Jersey organization and I know you're affiliated with New York Cares, but let's say there's someone in a completely different state listening right now that says, I love the concept of this. How do I find my version of Jersey Cares? Like, are there keywords that they can search for on Google?
Mhm.
Is there a big network of these sorts of organizations?
Fantastic question. We are an independent organization, but we have a national association, and it's actually a global network of organizations that do very similar work to Jersey Cares. A lot of them have a name like Chicago Cares, and then some of them have names that start with Hands On, like Hands On Atlanta or Hands On Bay Area in San Francisco, and there's Boston Cares. There are over 100 of them globally who do what we do. So if you're living in a major metro area, there's probably something near you that sounds like Hands On Something or Something Cares,
Yeah.
and you can look them up. We also have a national association called Points of Light, and you can just go to pointsoflight.org and look at what's going on globally and see where you might like to get connected in your local world.
Great. Pointsoflight.org.
Mhm.
Excellent. Okay, now I have to ask you about your story because I read about how you got two job offers early on in your career. One was kind of the money one, and one was
Mhm.
the nonprofit space. I'll let you tell the rest.
Yeah, I did. Well, this was straight out of college, right? Straight out of undergrad. And I had some job offers, and one of them was, I don't know if you remember, but U.S. News and World Report used to do all kinds of rankings. It was a
Oh,
big deal. They would rank colleges. Well, they ranked best first jobs the year I graduated, and they picked 20 companies in the world that were the best first jobs, and I got one of them. And so I was like, that's pretty amazing. I've got this company that really invests in employees, and part of the reason they were so highly ranked was because they gave so much training to their employees. And like they flew us to New Jersey. I was in Florida at the time. They flew us to New Jersey and like gave us really like a really intensive deep dive into what we were going to be doing, but also general skills, just like financial analysis. It was like going to a quickie MBA school, and um, and it paid well. And then I had a had a job offer from the Red Cross for half the money, and I really love the Red Cross. I'd been doing an internship there, and just really like the people there, and I love what was going. But I took the money, just coming out of college, I got this opportunity to go through a lot of training, and I was there for 5 years, and I loved it. Um, but while I was there, I got on the board of an organization just like Jersey Cares in Tampa, Florida. It's called Hands on Tampa Bay now. And I was on the board of that and just really, really loved it. And my partner and I were my partner got a promotion to Atlanta. So we had to go. And I was lucky enough to get a job at Hands on Atlanta, which I mentioned before, and ran a program there for 4 years and loved it. And thus was born my entree into nonprofit. And if anybody's thinking of taking that leap, I will tell you, it is really rewarding and really wonderful. And that first paycheck is a shock like you won't believe. Like, oh, you weren't kidding. Really, really going to live on this for a while. Um, I went through something similar when I came to Jersey Cares because I had been at New York Cares, which is a wonderful organization, and um, I got a job as the executive director of a news magazine on PBS. I really missed doing this work, like we're doing at Jersey Cares, because it was so systemic. Um, and so I came back to this, but Jersey Cares at the time was about to go out of business. They didn't have much money in the pipeline. Like you said, I was the only employee. They had dwindled down to two, and then one of them quit in the time that they were interviewing me. So I came on board, and it was supposed to be a short-term project. And I think the way you make a job really exciting for 19 years, which is how long I've been here, is that it's to make it a different job every year, right? So we just grew. And so you can imagine all of the transitions we've gone through from being a one-person organization to a 22-person organization with a big budget of 30,000 volunteers. So it's been exciting to be a part of that. And I would never take credit for it. We've had so many wonderful people come through the doors who have been really instrumental in this. Like our COO right now is that dynamo. I just lean on her constantly. She's amazing. And it is that foundational aspect of community that has brought Jersey Cares to this place. It's not just about any one person doing any one thing. It's about everybody who's come through the doors on the staff and all the volunteers who have come through the doors and really taken leadership and made it happen.
What is that breakdown then of people who are staff members versus people who are volunteers within Jersey Cares itself, as opposed to the nonprofits you work with? But do you have kind of a staff of volunteers that are specific to the Jersey Cares daily operations?
No, not
Oh,
a daily.
okay.
We have interns who come in and do
Okay.
that kind of thing, but we have programs that we run as opposed to programs that happen at other nonprofits. So
Okay.
we have a number of drives that take place throughout the
Yes.
year. We have a coat drive, we have a Halloween costume drive, we have a school supply drive, first night kit programs. There's a lot of drives that we do. So for those, we need a lot of people to come help organize and
Okay.
distribute all of the things that we have. So we have hundreds of volunteers who come through
Great.
for those. But most of our volunteers are out working for other organizations. So we have 22 staff to 30,000 volunteers that are out there in the world.
Wow. And I see on your Instagram, that you have a lot of pictures of all the things that you've been doing. So I definitely recommend people to look there for a visual
At
also
Jersey
of
Cares Instagram, yeah.
yes, yes, of what's happening. And Brian, I'm curious, how do you, with volunteers, if someone wants to be a long-term volunteer, do you ever counsel them on kind of how to best use their skills? What I mean by that is like I could volunteer to read a book once a week at a library. I could be on a board. I could run my own program. Do you kind of help point people in directions with all of that?
There are two touch points for that. When someone registers to be a volunteer, there is an orientation they can go through. They can go through it online if they want to, or they can have an in-person orientation. Everybody does it online, but it's made so that they can filter through it, and it goes through those types of things, like what makes a good volunteer project, what will help you have a good experience, how do we work, all of that. If someone takes a step up to a leadership position where they're actually running a project regularly at a nonprofit, then we have a much more in-depth orientation for them as we call them site captains. And so, or excuse me, team leaders for our public projects. And they'll go through that, but then we have ongoing trainings for them, like things like conflict resolution and the sorts of things that I think you were touching on. So as they take on that leadership, then they have access to that. And we have lots of people who have their own stories as they've gone through. They're obviously just like you have an array of people who are starting volunteerism at a different place. We have an array of volunteers who are starting their leadership experience at a different place. We have one volunteer named David German who was leading a project at St. John's Soup Kitchen in Newark when I first came to Jersey Cares, and he's still doing it. And
Wow.
after 19 years, and he was there before me. And we got a chance to honor him as our volunteer of the year on our 25th anniversary because, he is that model of what it looks like to really find that place where service isn't something that is taxing. It's not something you're taking away from yourself to give to somebody else. It's a part of your life. It's a part of who you are. And we kind of hold him up as the model for what it can be when someone really finds their passion.
Oh, I love stories like that. And the amount of resources that Jersey Cares offers is outstanding. And so anyone listening who feels like I'm scared, I don't know where to take the first step, I don't know what to do, like just reach out, look at the
Mhm.
website. You have so much there. Like you just explained, there are trainings, there are ways to walk people through the path of getting to the project or the organization that's right for them. And that's really, it's such a special organization that you have.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. We try to make it easy for everyone. When you go to our website, you can put in your zip code. You can put in children as a keyword. It's very user friendly. Even though it's hundreds of projects, you can find what you're looking for pretty
Yeah.
easily.
Oh, excellent. And Brian, what is it that is, I ask every guest this because I just love hearing the answer. What's most surprising to you about where your life is right now with regards to being in this nonprofit world and anything you want to touch on there?
I think different things would have surprised me. If I go back 10 years, I would be surprised about one thing. If I go back 20 years, I'd be surprised about
Mm.
another thing. But I never expected to be here for 19 years. I never expected to love it as much as I have. I knew that it was important when because I had done this in Atlanta and New York and Tampa. But it really became obvious how foundational it is to bring people to this place and help them follow their passion. I think a lot of the times we're educated slash brainwashed into thinking that if we follow our passion, somehow we're not being rational, we're not being
Mm.
practical. We need to go for, the kinds of things that we've been taught or make a life. You have to go make a lot of money. You have to go, have 2.4 kids and live in a big house. And I think when people discover their passion and follow their passion, those are the people that you end up talking to who have had really happy lives because that's your soul talking to you, right? Like that's telling you what your life path is. And I think that is the key to success and happiness, and that all the things that everybody wants. They follow your passion, and it's going to lead you in the right direction.
Love it. I love that advice. That's perfect and totally on brand, as they say, with Be the Good with Kate for sure. So thank you for sharing that. I promise I didn't tell him to say that. And then I just want to ask you one more element of Jersey Cares. I saw that you go into schools a lot. Now, I'm fascinated by children and the psychology, like what's going on in their brain. And what is something, I'm not even sure what my question is here, but I want to hear your experience of interacting with children and how they take the concept of being a part of nonprofits or volunteerism versus adults? Like, are there any big shifts that happen between when we're kids versus when we're adults?
There's a much greater openness to it when you're young. You don't have expectations. You're not sure what you're doing there, but you're just going with it. It's kind of fun. We have a lot of we're investing more in youth service programs, and of course that's really that's parent-led or guardian-led, and people are bringing children to these. So the kids aren't necessarily making the decision. They're just saying, yeah, yeah, sure, I'll go. And so they don't come in with the expectations, and they don't come in with hesitations. They just jump in and do it. And you get a chance to talk to them about, like, well, this is going to go to a child who doesn't get to live with their parents or live in a nice house. They live in a homeless shelter, and you can write a little note to them. And the kids really hear that, but they don't hear it with pity. They hear it with compassion and support. And that's how they come at it. And certainly not all adults come at it with pity either, but we're all kind of in tune with that a little more than I think children are. So they're open. It's just wide-eyed wonder at what we can do in the world.
Oh, I love it so much. Just great. Again, you're an adult listening. You can go on the website, and now there's also so much for children too. They can go
Hmm.
on and find out with parent-led, obviously, yes, of what's going
Right.
on there. Brian, I can't thank you enough. Please share with everyone where they can find more about Jersey Cares online, and this will be in the show notes as well.
Sure. The website is jerseycares.org, and we're on all social media. You can literally just search for Jersey Cares and find us pretty easily. And like we talked about earlier, there are organizations like Jersey Cares in most major metropolitan areas. So go to Hands On Greater Phoenix or LA Works, or anything that's in your area. You'll find it, and especially if you search for a Points of Light affiliate in your area, you'll find it.
Excellent. Excellent. Brian, thank you. And here's to what's ahead. Continued success with Jersey Cares.
Thank you for having us. Really appreciate this.
Thanks for tuning in. If you found this helpful, a 5-star review, like, or comment means the world to me. And if you found insight in this episode, chances are someone else will too. Share with a friend to give them a boost today. Until next time, I'm Kate Cherichello Tente, and this was Be the Good with Kate.